If he says I'm germy, it's probably true. Clarence was studying me. I could feel him doing it, so I focused even more on brushing Matzo Ball's perfect peachy fur. Then he said, "Harriet, are you upset about something else?" Actually, I was upset about something else. In 4 days, on Sunday, we would celebrate our neighbor Mabel Marble's centennial birthday, and a few days after that, Dad would come to the island to take me and Matzo Ball back home, germs or no germs. I wanted to tell Clarence how I felt about leaving the island, but I was a tangled together ball of feelings. Some of the tangles were about how I hadn't even wanted to come to Nanu's B&B in the first place. I'd wanted to stay home for the summer. Now that it was almost time to take the ferry back across the water, back to the way things had been before I came to Marble Island, before I met the captain and Clarence, before I discovered what a great mystery solver I am. Well, all that together made the tangles. What if I told Clarence all that and he didn't understand? What if he was excited for summer to end, for school to start? What if he wasn't going to miss me as much as I was going to miss him? And so, when I opened my mouth, I blurted, "What else could I be upset about?" I know what you're thinking. I didn't really answer his question. Here's something else about me. I haven't always been that great about telling the truth. Before I came to stay with Nanu, I used to lie a lot. Sometimes to hide the truth, sometimes to avoid certain things, sometimes for no reason at all. But nothing good ever came out of that. And after the thing with the captain's binoculars, which is a whole other story, I made a decision. I'm not going to lie anymore. If it's not the truth, I'm not going to say it. But it turns out that it's not easy to quit a bad habit. Nanu calls it turning over a new leaf. I guess it doesn't matter if the leaf is new or old, as long as you turn it over. The point is, I said what I said because I didn't want to lie to Clarence about how I was feeling. But from the way his mouth was twisted, I could tell he didn't believe my not a lie, but not really the truth either. "Harriet," he said, "I think that—" Whatever he was going to say was interrupted by the front door banging open and the captain stepping out onto the porch. I could tell from the sound of her footsteps that she was wearing her work shoes, big, heavy brown leather boots with thick soles and strong rope-like laces that she wore double-knotted. All my mixed-up feelings went away, poof, just like that. All that was left was excitement, and Clarence must have felt the same way because his mouth wasn't scrunched up anymore, and he was smiling. I stopped brushing Matzo Ball. He meowed and swatted at the brush to let me know that he wasn't done being brushed. The little bell on his collar tinkled merrily. "Sorry, Matzo Ball," I told him. "We'll have to finish later." I picked him up to take him inside. He meowed again, loudly this time. "You can't come," I told him. "You'd scare off all the birds." Slowly, Moneypenny followed us from her shady spot on the porch and made it halfway into the sitting room before she flopped down again, this time on the rug by the sofa. She was asleep before Matzo Ball leaped over her to land in his favorite sunny spot, the window seat. I returned to the porch and closed the front door firmly behind me. The captain looked at each of us sternly, first me, then Clarence. We stood still and let her. We knew she was determining if we were dressed appropriately. I was wearing Dad's overalls from when he was a kid. The magnifying glass Dad had sent me hung in the hammer loop, just as it always did, and the old gate key was tucked in the front pocket.